great pleasure to make this film. It was also the first time that I was with the Bauls, and one had researched the subject, one had read about them, but truly it was being with them that made me realize that how deeply they understand life. In fact, truly, I mean, I don't think I've come across a college professor who could speak so acutely about a philosophy of life. They have answers to any question that you may ask. It's deeply thought out, deeply understood and considered. It's not just a matter of singing a song which somebody has learned. They know what they're talking about. They have answers for things. And what is the best thing I found in Indic thought is that you're not asked to believe anything. They are ideas. If the ideas appeal to you, they make sense to you. If the ideas give you happiness, you will stay with them, enjoy them, and in the process perhaps evolve. But again, I mean, there's nothing that says that you have to evolve or you will evolve. It's really up to each person to experience the ideas for himself and see where it gets you. And it's such a, as somebody said in an interview in this film also, it's community knowledge without people taking ownership of this is mine or this is what I say. And among the Bauls, it's only Lalul Fakir, born Muslim, right on the border of India and Bangladesh today, on the Bangladesh side, who is the one name that is recognized and spoken about again and again. And again, just like all other Indian traditions, it is absolutely no difference between Hindus and Muslims. These are very strange modern divisions which have been created. I mean, you have a Muslim Baul there singing about Brahma, and it's always been like that everywhere in the country. Great experience to be with them and to experience some of their knowledge. Would you have any questions which I could answer?
Yes, I'm Edwin from Austria. I lived 10 months in India, in Auroville, Pondicherry, and I'm here. What an extraordinary film. But not only the balls are extraordinary, you are also very extraordinary. And it's true, this notice how Tom know yourself. The balls know themselves because they've been praying and singing all their lives. That's the most important thing. I've been a teacher all my life, and I think there are only two ways to pass on knowledge: to set an example and to encourage. In the word to encourage, you have a Latin root, heart. Isn't it true?
Absolutely.
And in Sanskrit, there's no word for to teach, only to help someone to rise in consciousness. Thank you.
Sir, I was reminded of the songs by Meera, and I missed the first half. Thank you. I missed the first half of the movie, so I'm so sorry if I take your time. I think this community is a very marginalized community. So, like one scholar in the movie talked about how there is a racial conflict. There are all kinds of conflicts in the society. So, doesn't this community sing about those conflicts, or what they experience as being a marginalized society, or do they only sing about their union with the divine and love and basically only positive things? So
they do sing about what's happening in the contemporary world, but they don't sing about themselves being a marginalized community. Somehow that has never been, that's not quite been the tradition. As a matter of fact, of course in the old days, nobody was marginalized. All these things were recognized as very important to society. In fact, everything was given its place. That's a very marvelous thing about the ancient culture. Everything had its place, and everything used to get its patronage, which today is not happening. The focus is on material objects, and in a sense, all education of the deep sort has been marginalized. It is technical education, really, or business education, which is in the forefront, and all real education about life, about the things which make life beautiful and meaningful. All that has been marginalized. And in fact, I perceive, I see around me, and I have this fear that we in India today are also falling trapped to shifting culture to the universities or the so-called intellectuals, and not recognizing it as an essential part of everybody's life. You see, the focus is very important. I mean, if material objects are the focus of life, then you proceed in a certain way. If you begin with the understanding that life is a very ephemeral thing, you are here today and tomorrow you will not be. If you recognize that, then you start looking for what is it that gives you that peace. What is it that makes you be able to understand and accept the reality of life. Very important to see the end of life, to be able to understand life and to be able to live it fruitfully and happily. So that is the essential difference.
But the consciousness that they are above these materialistic concerns, do they have that, and do they try to preach that we are above this and we would like you to be above this as well? Or are they just for self-contentment, these songs?
Well, in the Indic traditions, I don't think anybody used to think of this being above that. And the sharing it's a sharing. You are experiencing or trying to experience the truth. And all of that is only trying. I mean, nobody imagines that he has reached, enlightenment or a point where they have really left their material concerns behind. The web of Maya or Mithya is very much there. But you are trying to experience that which is beautiful within you, that which is graceful within you, and therefore divine within you. So you are trying to experience that, and the education, if I may say here, the education in the Indic method is to share the experience. When you are with a guru who has experienced a truth, there is a way of that being transmitted to you. I mean, books won't do. So that's what's happening. They are an essential part of society. I mean, if the society is going to have a cobbler, if the society is going to have a farmer, if the society is going to have somebody who builds structures, just like that, the society has to have somebody who experiences and shares a divine truth. And again, in this case, it's not hereditary or anything, but it's marvelous to see the way the different aspects of life are all seen and held together. Yes, they are just like the other villagers. They live just like them, they live in similar houses, they have families, they have children, and they do not really live very differently, except that their earnings come from what is offered to them for their singing. Otherwise, they're part of that community and like the others.
Benoy, thank you very much. Firstly, I would like to compliment you, and secondly also mention that there is a lot of similarity in some of the tribals in Orissa who have similar kind of culture and their expressions. I think what needs to be done is by Doordarshan, and I'm sure somebody from Doordarshan would be here and as we discussed during tea, to take it to a larger audience, not just Doordarshan, which reaches 94%, but we're looking at the metros hardly anybody sees, or the Class B cities that hardly anybody sees Doordarshan. Rather than CDs come out as 3 years down the line, but we need to do something at Doordarshan or whoever is here from Doordarshan to try and take it to the masses, also to the critical mass, which is the larger towns also must view this. It'll have a tremendous impact. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Whether it is Odisha or the other states, actually, in one form or the other, every little corner of this country, there were so many artistic traditions which were all about this same, the path towards understanding. And I could not agree more with you that something needs to be done, because there was a time, I think 15 years ago, one could say with certainty that anybody, I mean any maidservant, anybody that you spoke to, who by today's yardstick would be considered very uneducated, could speak to you about the illusory nature of the material world. I mean, that is the kind of philosophic heritage we had. Absolutely shared heritage where there was nothing like a common man does not know as much as a so-called educated or rich man. Everybody knew it. This was, I mean, if there was a democracy or philosophy or whatever that you call it, it's right here. And it's been lost very fast. So some awareness of it is very important, and I think you're right. We have to at least make people realize that it's important. And people are losing it also because all the media which comes before them and all the hype which is in front of them is to say that better cars are very important, or this flashy lifestyle is very important, or this wonderful whiskey is very important. So people's minds are shaped by what is told to them or shown to them as important. So the fact that we recognize these simple and beautiful things to be as beautiful and important as they are, I wouldn't agree more with you that we must find ways to take these to the people.
Does the committee exist in Bangladesh, and did you sort of study them also, and is there any comparison between the two communities on the Indian side and the Bangladesh side?
In fact, very recently Sujata and I had gone to Bangladesh, and we've also decided to now make another film on the Bauls and the caves in Bangladesh. To the best of my understanding, they're exactly the same. So these are recently made political boundaries which don't affect the culture at all. So it's exactly the same. And I'm sure it's going to be great for us to be there and work with them. You'll also be happy to know that now, for instance, we went to document the Buddhist heritage, and we found that there's a very, very rich Buddhist heritage, Buddhist and Hindu heritage in Bangladesh. The National Museum and the other site museums are full of beautiful Hindu and Buddhist sculptures. And there are so many stupa sites and viharas in Bangladesh. There are districts where every 5 or 10 kilometers there's a massive stupa. And that Islamic government is looking after these sites extremely well. So unfortunately, I think there's a lot of hype sometimes against certain governments or whatever. But traveling to the places, I've found most places, there is usually much more understanding and compassion than what media can make us believe. The Muslims of Bangladesh celebrate Durga Puja as much as the Hindus of Bengal. There are great traditions, and so we'll be going back there to document some of this. Well, thank you very much.